Hi friends, and welcome back to Rustic and Lace DIY. Can you believe we're at the middle of September already? The middle of September. I only have a few more fall videos and then we turn into Christmas. Christmas! Oh my word, where's this year going? But before we get on with the video, I just want to welcome you. If you are new, my name is Brenda and this is my Sleepy Oliver as he's become known. And if you're returning, you guys are amazing. So with all that being said, let's get to crafting. Okay, DIY number one. So I'm going to take one of these wood boards from Dollar Tree. I'm going to paint it with Waverly chalk paint in the color Truffle. After it was done, I had created some stencils from with my Cricut, and I got these off of Cricut Design Space. The fall is in the air. I did create that one myself, but the leaves came from Cricut Design Space. But I am taking my Decor Art metallic paint in the color Worn Penny, and then this is just a gold metallic paint, and as you can see, I'm dabbing it in all around the inside of the leaves. Now this started drying pretty quickly, so I had to try to hurry here. And I'll show you here in a moment that I will use a stencil brush, and I'm just kind of going to start smearing it all around the inside of my leaves. And as I was doing that, I'm like, okay, so some of them look a little too gold, so I add a little more of the Worn Penny, and then some of them I'm like, okay, there's too much Worn Penny, so I'll add a little bit of the gold. But I just kept doing it until I could kind of see a good mixture of both of the colors, and I love how this came out. And then I just used the gold to go over fall is in the air. And you guys, that's really all I'm going to do with this, other than add some tumbling tower blocks on the back for a stand. It is a super, super simple and easy project, and I just didn't want to do anything more to it. I don't know. I guess I just loved the simplicity about it. And as you can see, I let some of the raw would show on the edges of that, but I did end up repainting it because I didn't really like it. But I just like the simplicity of this sign. It was just simple. And I think I really liked the gold and the Worn Penny mixed together for the leaves. As you can see there, I used my Titebond Quick and Thick multi-purpose glue and hot glue to attach the tumbling tower blocks for a stand. But I don't know, there was just something about the simplicity of it that I just really loved. But I know it's not usually what I do, but I just love this one. You have to let me know what you think about it in the comment box below. Okay guys, I hope you are enjoying today's video. I have so much fun crafting, but I have to tell you, sometimes it's not so much fun, because sometimes it can be a challenge to think of what else to make and to think of new things to make and not try to repeat myself, because there are times when I'm like, have I made something like that before, and have to go back and look at my videos to see. But anyways, I hope you're not getting tired of these yet. I'm not getting tired yet, but I am getting excited for Christmas DIYs. That is always my favorite. I love fall, but Christmas is my ultimate. But before we get on, I always like to stop and say thank you guys all so very much. Make sure those of you who have subscribed, make sure you check your subscribe button every once in a while to make sure that you are still subscribed, because that YouTube algorithm for some reason kicks people off. So make sure you're checking that on a regular basis. And if you are new here, or even if you haven't subscribed at all, but you come back all the time, hit that red subscribe button. What are you waiting for? It doesn't cost you anything, and it helps me out tremendously, but I still appreciate you even if you don't. Either way is fine, but you know, it helps a girl out, so I would appreciate it. So I guess that's all I need to say for now. So with all of that, let's continue on with the video. Okay, DIY number 2. So I'm going to take this sign from Hobby Lobby. It was $2.49, but I got it at 40% off of that. So we're basically $1.50. And I am just going to do a really thick dry brushing of my Waverly chalk paint in the color Ivory. So I'm just smearing that paint all over. I'm not putting a ton on my brush, just kind of a small amount until I got it to look the way I liked it. once the paint was dry, I covered the front of it with my Mod Podge, and I'm just going to brush that all on. And then I'm going to let it dry. Did I let it dry? I think I let it dry. Yes. And then I took my paintbrush, I dipped it into water, and I went around this image on this rice paper. I got this from decoupagenapkin.com. I just thought it was gorgeous, and I've been wanting to use it, and I finally said, okay, I'm almost done with my fall crafts. I've got to use this. So I'm just going to tear at the areas that were wet to just give it a little more of a natural look, so it's just not stark lines. I laid it on the front of my board here, or my sign. I'm going to cover it with my parchment paper to protect that rice paper. And then I'm going to use my heat press, and this just reactivates that Mod Podge so that paper sticks. And then once I am done with that, I'm just going to go over it again with some more Mod Podge just to help protect that image. And I'm feeling around there because I couldn't remember if I had got that part or not. So I'm trying to feel to see if it felt wet. But then once I was done with the Mod Podge, I did let it dry for a few minutes. It doesn't take it very long. Then I took my little X-Acto knives here, and I'm just going to cut this right through the slit of the sign. And I did 2 slits, and then I'm going to take the tip of my X-Acto knife and pull up the paper. And I love how this comes out with the details of the sign there, of the crevices in the sign. Anyways, I did that along each one of those, and then I didn't want to do a lot to this either. I just thought that image was beautiful. So I took some twine here. I'm going to glue it to the back. Now I wish I would have brought this up just a hair, and I'm going to wrap it 3 times. I'm going to wrap the bottom, and when I come around, I'm going to go over and to the bottom, going above the first wrap and to the bottom, and then from the bottom to the top, if that makes sense. But anyways, I'm crisscrossing them. So that's why I wish I would have started a little higher up, because it was really close to the bottom there. So I did the same thing on the top, but I made sure I gave myself more room. Then I'm going to make a finger bow, and I am wrapping my fingers. I think I do a 3, or is it 4 loop? I think it was a 3 loop. And then I bring that long tail in between my fingers, bring it around the strands between my fingers, and then put the end through that wrap that I just made. And then I'm going to pull really, really tightly. And that's how you do a finger bow or a 3 loop finger bow. Then I'm just going to glue it to the top middle part of my twine there. And then I'm just going to add a hanger back in, and I think this might have been the hanger that came off of it originally. And then I just tie knots on the end of that, and that's all there is for this one, I believe. I did this yesterday. I can't even remember. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I don't know why I'm showing you so much of this. Oh my goodness. Ugh, I was editing last night, so that's my issue. Editing at night. When I'm still not very fresh-minded and tired. Anyways, I'm sorry I showed you this whole thing. I'm sure you know how to make a hanger, but there it is. I love this one. I just think it is so pretty and simple and gorgeous. And yeah, you have to let me know what you think about this one as well in the comment box below. Okay, it is a time for a celebration of your recreations. And we have these beautiful paintings that Mary, who I got to meet recently face to face, she does watercolors and they are beautiful, Mary. And then Kathy, look at these lovely pieces Kathy's been making. And then Christine, I love your busted canvas. That is so cute. And then your little broom is really cute too. Thank you, ladies. And if you have a creation or recreation that you would like me to showcase, you can send pictures to my email address that's listed there, or you can send them to me through Instagram or Facebook Messenger. Okay, DIY number 3. So for this one, I'm going to take one of these signs from Dollar Tree. If you don't have this one, you could use any of their little signs that are this size. I'm going to remove these little tacks and the things on the edge, and then I'm going to remove the coffee word there that I don't like. So I love coffee, but I didn't like that. It's too flimsy. Anyways, I threw it away. But I am just going to take off all that gooey mess that was on there with my Goo Gone. Then after that, I took 3 of these canvas, what are these?
canvas. These are canvas. That's not burlap canvas. That's what I was looking for. Oh my goodness. Anyways, I'm going to remove the staples from all of these, and you guys could pull off the burlap from it, but it does rip the burlap and it was kind of hard. So I just removed all the staples. I didn't want to see the staples anyways, because I'm going to paint the front and the back of them and that other sign with my hazelnut. So then I'm going to take my wood glue and I'm going to glue the 3 frames together. Now these frames are nasty, you guys. They are really rough wood. In fact, I thought about going to Walmart and seeing if I could find some, or even Hobby Lobby, the same size that looked better. But I just thought, no, I'll just make this work. But yeah, so I am gluing them together with wood glue, and then I put these little clips on them to hold them together. And then I'm just going to lay some paint jars and stuff on top of it because they were kind of bending up. So that way it would dry more straight. And I let them sit overnight. So then the next morning I came through with my Ivory Chalk Paint by Waverly, and I am just going to do a heavy coating of dry brushing all along the hazelnut as well. Now, you guys, most of these are DIYs today are not colors I normally use. So it's a little different of a video. I'm really curious to see what you guys are going to think of these DIYs, because it's not normally the colors that I use. Anyway, so I decided to go ahead and do this on my frames as well, to just kind of give it a little more of a rustic look. Plus, especially because the wood I guess it's wood. It's very fine, thin, or soft wood on those frames was so bad. I just thought, let's make it look rustic. I am having a time this morning. Oh my word. Let's make it look a little more rustic with the painting, and then maybe the roughness of the wood will blend better. Anyways, I am taking these little hooks. I'm screwing one into the top of each one. And this middle one, you guys, I had to cut a lot of it out because it just did not want to screw in. The other ends went in perfectly, but this one I struggled with. But I finally got it in, and I just twisted that there with my needle nose pliers. Then I got one of these little wood signs, these fall wood signs, and I'm just going to paint it with that hazelnut. Have you guys seen these in Dollar Tree this year? I haven't really paid close enough attention, but I've heard another crafter that said they haven't been able to find them. I have a ton of these from previous years that I never use, and then I forget have them, and I buy more. And anyways, so I'm trying to use them all up. So I found the center point of the big block here, and I'm adding my word. As you saw, I used my Quick and Thick multi-purpose glue by Type On, and then I took these rub-on transfers from Dollar Tree, and I just cut out some of this different leaves that I wanted to use, and I'm just going to rub them all on and remove the top layer. These rub off really nicely. They're very easy to rub off. And I bought these rub-on transfers years ago, and they're not just really my colors, and I wasn't quite sure if I'd ever use them. And finally I'm like, you know what? I think these would go good with what I'm doing, so let's do it. So, and not only that, I also had a very different idea for this. And it's so funny how a lot of times I'll think I'm going to go one way, and then I end up going a different way. So that was this for sure. So when I was going through my stash, I was going through looking to see if I had any of the small wood acorns, and I didn't, but I found these, and I'm like, this might be really cool. So I grabbed these leather tags. I don't know what you call them, but I got them from Dollar Tree. I think they still have them. I think I saw some this year. And I'm just going to kind of glue the strips together. I cut them down and glued them together so that they weren't so long and that they didn't look so bulky. Added them to the hooks, and then I'm using my wood glue and hot glue, and I'm going to glue these frames to my chunky wood piece, or whatever you want to call that piece. It wasn't wood, it's MDF. But anyways, then I decided, okay, I'm going to use some of my braided ribbon that I love so much, this jute ribbon that I get from Amazon. It is in my Amazon store. In the description box, there's a link to my Amazon store. If I ever say anything that I got from Amazon, I usually put it in that store. So if you're interested in it, I would love it if you'd use my link to purchase it. That way I get a little bit of something from Amazon back. Not much, but a little bit, every little bit helps. Anyways, I'm just going to use my hot glue and glue this around the frame I did go back on this side and go down the other wood MDF piece. I brought some of it down on that too, because I'm going to do that on this side, but I'm just going to go ahead and glue this all the way around and then glue it down the edge there too. So I did that on the other side as well. That's what I was trying to say. And there it is. I asked my husband, what do you think? And he's like, that is very unique. You haven't done anything like that before. I'm like, no, I haven't. But yeah, you have to let me know what you think about this one in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 4. What did I do? Which one is it? Okay, I'm going to take 3 of the wood hanging plaques. I'm going to attach them together using these giant craft sticks, wood glue and hot glue. I used a whole bunch of these because the wood was kind of warped, and I was hoping that the more I used, the less warped it would be. And it was, but it wasn't perfect. So it is still a little warped. It kind of bugs me, but it is what it is when you use things from Dollar Tree. Sometimes that happens, right? Anyways, you just kind of have to work with it and make good with it. Anyways, I painted this whole thing with my Waverly chalk paint in the color ink, which is black. You guys, this is another one that was just not what I was thinking and not what I was planning. So I thought, maybe I can make this look galvanized, but I should have started out. I thought about this after I painted it black. So I thought, well, let's try it. So I took my elephant and a sponge, and I'm just sponging the elephant all around. And it's not looking so pretty. So then I took Silver Lining by Waverly, and I'm going all around that as well. And I'm just like, I don't know. It's not looking right. And I've done galvanizing before, and it does turn out the more you sponge and stuff. And I'm just like, well, first of all, I don't like how I'm using the sponge is like a rectangle, and I don't like that. So I cut them even more to be more like a square. And then I add my ink here, and it just looks like a big mess, doesn't it? And I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not liking it. I'm not getting it. I think if I would have started with the elephant base, then it might have been better. But I was just like, I am not liking this. So I keep trying to go over it with some more elephant, a little more. I can't remember if I used a little more of the Silver Lining, but I just kept trying to go over it a little bit more just to try to make it look a little more galvanized, but I just wasn't liking it. So I thought, okay, I want some metallic in here. So I took my metallic paint in the color Rich Espresso, and I'm like, I'm going to see how it looks when I add this. So I just start dabbing. And then after a while, I'm like, I don't like the dab marks. So I kind of start brushing it more with my sponge. And I'm like, okay, well, that might help a little bit. Yeah, so that's how it ended. So yeah, you'll see that here in a minute. But then I took this pumpkin, and the leaves, they're all from Hobby Lobby. And actually everything there except for the cursive letters is from Hobby Lobby. The cursive letters is from Amazon, and they're in my Amazon store as well. But I painted them all with that worn penny. And then I'm going to use my wood glue and hot glue to glue them all in place. Now you could use the Tite Bond glue if you have that. The quick and thick multi-purpose glue. I didn't use it this way just because the pumpkin's a little bit bigger, and it hurts my hand sometimes to squeeze this quick and thick out. So I use wood glue on the other pieces, and then I use my Tite Bond on the letters. But I'm just going to glue everything in place, and then I decided, I don't like the left-hand corners empty. So I did take another one of the leaves that came from, the leaves come from a package from Hobby Lobby. The pumpkin came from a wood garland that I got after fall last year. It was 90% off, so I got it for like 70 cents, and then it came like with 6 or 8 different wood pieces. It was amazing. Anyways, as you can see, I glued some of the pip berries on top of my pumpkin. I'm going to take my braided jute cord, and I'm going to glue it all the way around my sign. See, didn't that sign look a little bit better? I don't know, you guys. For me, the verdict is still out on this one. I'm not sure. It's not my colors other than the worn penny I love. I don't know. You have to let me know what you think. I'm a little nervous to hear what you think, but it's okay. I don't mind. Anyways, I'm going to take some sunflowers from Dollar Tree. This actually, the pick is called Wheat. And I took some of the little floral things that come off of it and glued it around my pumpkin there. Oh, and this is where I'm adding that third leaf. And then what did I do? I think I just added a hanger after this. I wasn't sure what else to do. So yeah, so I just turned it around and stapled some of that jute cord as a hanger, and that's all there was. I just tie a knot on the end of that, and yeah, there it is. It's so different. It's not normally my style, so I'm not quite sure, but I hope you guys like it. You have to let me know in the comment box below. Okay, DIY number 5. You guys, I got 5 DIYs done on this one. So I had this sign, or this what is it, breadboard that you'd get from Dollar Tree in the plus section. And I'm going to remove the stickers and remove the tie there. And I was going to paint the front. I thought, you know what, maybe I'll make this two-sided and leave that the way it is, because you could turn it around and use it for Thanksgiving. So I painted the backside with my ivory color by Waverly. And then I took, this is September's Club Couture transfer. If you are not familiar with Club Couture, they are a self-adhesive stencil, and the first time you use them, you want to fuzz them really well. And I fuzzed mine, I think, 5 times, which I probably should have fuzzed it 1 or 2 more times, but I got it all fuzzed, and then I'm going to lay it in place. And if you like this transfer, you can only get it if you sign up for Club Couture. It is a monthly subscription. You can subscribe to it. It's $21, I think, a month. And you have to at least be subscribed for 3 months before you can cancel it. But you get an exclusive 8x11 transfer with some coordinating chalk paste, and then they're also sending out a surface this month that came with an apron and a really pretty copper, shimmer copper, which I almost used, but chalk paste. But anyways, I took my rest here and I am just going over it. So if you want this, then this would be the time to sign up for it, so you can get it before the sign up before the end of September is what I'm saying, if you want this stencil, because that's the only way of getting it. But I love this. I thought it was great, and I thought it would be great on my board. Now, I'm doing something I normally don't do, and I learned my lesson. I'm going over the whole stencil. Normally, I go over a section of it, pull up that section so that the chalk paste doesn't stick to the silk screen, and then, lightly put it down and continue on. Well, I didn't do that, and I regret it, because it was drying way too fast, and look what happened. Yeah, it dried on my silk screen, and this is what it looks like. It looked bad. So I had a viewer ask if I'd show how to clean them. So this is how I clean them. I have those 2 racks that I got from Dollar Tree. I just lay my stencil on top of it with the sticky part facing downward. I use my sprayer and the faucet to just kind of go over it and get as much off that I can with the sprayer. And sometimes I spend a couple of minutes doing this. It just depends on how long I waited, and I felt like I waited too long because I had to set up my camera and stuff to do this. But then I took Chalk Couture has what they call board erasers, and they're I think they're like the magic erasers, and that's what they look like, at least, and feel like. So I just use them to clean my transfers, and so I'm just going over the front of them. And once I got it all cleaned, I am going to move my faucet, and I'm going to lightly, with a damp sponge, go over the silk screen area. Now, you don't want to get very much water on the sticky side of it, because the more water you get lessens the lifespan of the stencil, because the stickiness wears off, or white gets washed off. So that's why I try to be very careful with not getting too much water on the sticky part, and try to use the sponge just on the silk screen part. And it is kind of hard in some of the areas that are really small. But I just do the best that I can to get as much of the paste off of the silk screen as I can. And then as soon as I get all of that done, I might wipe off the front again. That's what the board erasers look like. They come in a 2-pack. And then I took my fuzzing cloth. I actually have 2 of them. I took one, and on this lighter side of the fuzzing cloth is your drying cloth. And I just took another microfiber towel, and I just I lay my stencil down with the sticky part up, and then I just use a microfiber cloth to just kind of go over the sticky part, just to get all that water off, because you don't want any excess water drying on it. And then I just washed off my squeegee, and then I laid it carefully, tried to get it all even, laid it in place, and added some more paste to it. And then I did I'll show you here where I put paste and then I pull up. And it turned out much better. I did have to use my paintbrush in little sections that I still didn't get covered very well. But for the most part, it looks pretty good. So yeah, lesson learned. Always do the paste and pull. At least for me, it's hotter in our area and things, and I have a fan above me that's going, which I think helps dry it faster. Um, so yeah, paste and pull, paste and pull. That's what I got to remind myself to do. Anyway, so once I was all done with that and re-cleaned my stencil, I took this paper from that paper pack that Kathy Jo sent me. I think she got it from Michael's. I loved this paper. It was beautiful and I thought it would work perfectly. So I added some Mod Podge to my breadboard here on the top and the bottom, and I had cut out the strips to the size that I needed. Here it was a little crooked, so I was straightening it out. And then once I have the paper laid out, I'm just going to go over that paper again with the Mod Podge to help protect it. And I will do the same on the top of my breadboard here. And then I'll go over it again with some more Mod Podge. And then of course I'm going to let them dry. And I did not use my heat press for this. A lot of times I don't for paper. I don't know why. But anyways, once it was dry, I sanded off any excess of the paper that was hanging over. And then I took some of my braided jute ribbon that I love, and I'm just going over where the edge of the paper is, just to kind of cover the seam, make it look a little more finished. And then after that, I took what is this? The twine that I removed, and I'm just going to wrap it around and tie a bow. And then I thought, well, wait a minute. What about, well, I'm going to trim it off and then I'm going to add that bead to the end like it was on that one side. And then I thought, well, what about the other side? It's just going to have the twine wrapped around it. So I did wrap another piece of twine around it underneath the bow and made a bow on the other side. And I'll show you that here in a minute. But I'm just going to put some tape on the edge of my twine so that I can thread it through the hole of that bead and then tie another knot and trim it off. And it looks perfect. And it looks very cute. So now I have a double-sided breadboard that I can put in my kitchen, one with a pumpkin pie recipe and the other one that just says gather. And I thought about doing more to that, but I ended up not doing anything. But anyways, yeah. Oh, another thing. You should let your paste cure for, I would say, at least 48 hours. And then you can spray this to make it permanent. I normally don't spray my stuff or put Mod Podge on it. I've noticed when I do Mod Podge, it smears and it seems to stay okay. But if you want to make it more permanent, use that spray. So there it is. You have to let me know what you think about this. And I have a link to my Chalk Couture site in my description box if you're interested in that. And then here is the final reveal. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this stuff because it's totally, other than the Chalk Couture one, all of it is totally different from stuff that I would normally make. So let me know what you think about it and if you think you'll recreate any of these or what you would do different on any of them. So I will be back again on Thursday with another video. Only a couple more fall videos left, you guys. It's crazy. But anyways, with all that, hope you guys have a really good week and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.